I'm always hearing students say, I want to sound more British. So in this video, I'm going to go through 4 ways that you can sound more British in your pronunciation. I'm Jamie, an English pronunciation coach who has taught hundreds of students over the last 6 years online how to sound more British and improve your English pronunciation. And normally, if you've been watching a lot of TV, then chances are that you will have obtained more American than British pronunciation habits. Now, that's not bad, but if you want to sound British, then here is the first tip for you. Get lazy with the R sound. R, R. This is much more pronounced in American than it is in British English. Particularly in the South, we'd replace this with the important schwa sound. Not whether try to pronounce the sound, just leave the R as a schwa. Weather. So instead of car, do you see how I'm pronouncing the R there? It sounds more American. Car, car. We stop the sound in the middle of our mouth. Car, dollar. Again, schwa sound. Dollar. As I just mentioned, we do pronounce the R sound in English, particularly when it is followed by a vowel sound. For example, in the word drop, because there's an O, we would pronounce the R and bring them together. Drop. Or train. Again, we're pronouncing the R sound in the words if they're followed by a vowel sound. And the second way that you can sound more British is to get lazy with the T. What does this mean? This is that glottal T that I'm sure you've heard about and in a lot of programs. So this is where we'll remove the T sound in certain words to speed up the speech and sound more British. However, if we do this in every single word, as we're going to see in a minute, then you will lose the understanding. So it's important just to use particularly function words at the end of phrases. We might reduce the T sound. For example, instead of sit down, sit. See how we're stopping there? It's like sit down. You feel it in the back of your throat. Sit down. What is it? You can feel a little bit of puff of air. What is it? See how much quicker it flows. So play around with function words, particularly at the end of phrases, and reduce that T. If we were to reduce the T in every word, for example, instead of Italian, it doesn't make sense, it isn't a word, and you'll completely lose the understanding. So if you're going to drop the T, particularly at the end of words, and if they're function words, these are the normal places in British we would use and reduce the T to a glottal T. And number 3 is using the T sound instead of D. This is particularly important if you've listened to a lot of American shows. They might use words such as water, again with the R on the end, but we're focusing on the T. Water, Adam, little. Sorry about my American accent, but instead of little. Instead of Adam, atom. Instead of water, it's water. The key point to make sure here is that if there's a T sound, then you are pronouncing it either as a glottal T in certain instances or as a T and not a D sound, which will make you sound more American. And the 4th way is to practice the O sound. O is often in American pronounced as A. O, A. For example, in the phrase, what's the problem? What's the problem? O. Again, we can hear it towards the back of our throat. O, problem. If you can practice these 4 areas, then you will have developed your English pronunciation to sound more natural and more British over time.